Hello. We are a couple of weeks away from starting construction on the conversion of our stables to an Airbnb, so I thought I'd take you over there now and walk you through what the stable's going to look like in anticipation when you come to stay. Come on in. So this part of the castle grounds is opposite the paddock. The main castle sits over there. And over here, where we have our vegetable patch under trees, bad placing, got to sort it out next year, we have a stables. Now, what's interesting, whilst this is listed because it's an historical building and a site of historical interest, we're lucky enough that the stables was built 25 years ago. The actual title for this property is split in two. That bit with the turret and the little castle, listed up to here, can't do a thing. That bit, a bit more flexibility. So we managed to get permission for the Airbnb. But there have been some nightmares that I'll tell you all about. But come with me and let me show you what the plans are. Have you got your coffee? I love wandering around with my coffee. Remember, love is love. Right, so you can't quite see it here, but there are actually 3 windows along that side of the stables. Over here, the rather sad and depressing vegetable garden, which I'll probably rectify next year. I might put some sort of shade-loving plants, or I might actually landscape that back into a bit of grassland, but we'll see, plans to come. So follow me down here. And here you have the stables and the hayloft. So let me turn the lights on and show you inside. Very exciting, come on in. This actually won't be a door, but come into what will be the bedroom. So the idea is that there'll be a window where you're currently looking at me. There'll be a lovely bed here. There'll be a small ensuite. And then along here, I'm going to have a stud wall and then a door. Take down these stalls here. Deconstruction starts in a couple of weeks. And wait there. Oh, hello. That will actually be the main entrance. So you will come into your luxuriously appointed Airbnb at the foot of the Skirrid Hills in the Brecon Beacons National Park. To your left, you'll have a door into your gorgeous bedroom where you are now. Along here, we'll have a traditional shaker kitchen, which I'm very excited about. And then over here, again, this will be taken down. The wood will be taken out. We're building a wood store, very excited about that. This will be, you'll have your AV, television, etc., a wood burner, and a gorgeous sofa. So quite simple, probably going to use this dining table here, which actually belonged to my mother and father. I'm going to kind of chalk paint it up, reuse a couple of the chairs that we had in our kitchen in Gloucestershire before we moved to Wales, and put those here. So I'm really excited, but there have been some challenges, and let me tell you about that. Come with me up to the hayloft at the top. So we did think about converting the top of the stables, which is where a tradition you would have stored hay, into like a children's bedroom, and a couple of reasons we didn't. One, I think there's a bit around overdeveloping a piece of land. We've got neighbours around here. I don't necessarily want them to be impacted by lots of children running around. So it's really going to be just for a couple and maybe one quiet small dog. So we're not going up into the loft, but I thought that meant that we would be problem-free. But no, we have bats. Now, my husband is a vegan. I am very animal focused, but that has caused me a lot of problems. Let me show you upstairs in the loft and tell you what we have to do. So come up, don't be shy. I'll open the door to give you some light. If you promise, you won't jump out, but look at that view there. So I think originally when they had hay bales up here, they would have probably thrown those out the door. And we're lucky enough, we're going to be able to keep that original door. So this is the hayloft. Beautiful space. We have to slightly extend the boards here to make sure that we give privacy and heat insulation to the room below. But above here, I don't think there are any here at the moment. The ecologist from the Brecon Beacons National Park discovered bats. Now, this is a maternity ward for bats, and bats are a super, super protected species. So it took about 53 weeks to get planning permission with various ecology reports to look at when the bats come in, how we can protect the bats. A couple of things we're going to be doing to make sure that we can protect the bats. The first is this membrane that has been on here for 25 years since this barn was first built apparently is not bat friendly enough. So we're going to have to take the entire roof off, tile by tile, and then replace this membrane so that bats don't get caught in it. Secondly, we're going to have to put a couple of bat boxes up here so they can use them as maternity roosts. And then thirdly, this window here, apparently the draft from this window is too large for the bats who currently live here. And so we're going to have to reduce the size of this window. We are also going to have to close up the entrance here from down below. And I'm not too worried about that because what I don't want is I don't want people who are staying here running up, disturbing the bats, potentially health and safety. But I still like to come up here because I do store things up here. And I want to be able to access it. So we're going to put a trap door. Originally, the plans had us putting a sort of a wooden partition here that again stopped the draft coming up, disturbing the bats and making them feel cold. What we're going to do is put a trap door on that so I can still access here, not during the maternity season, but I can make sure if I put old Christmas trees or things that I want to not store in the house but store over here, I can put them up here. So that's what we're doing up here for the bats. We also, because we are in a national park, the actual ecology, the trees, the shrubs, the actual kind of footprint of the land is very important. And one of the trees outside has got a tree protection order on it, a TPO. And we're having a couple of challenges with that at the moment, but let me tell you all about that as well. You can see why I don't necessarily want my Airbnb guests going up and down these steps, especially after maybe a glass of Rioja on a Saturday night. Gently does it. I think you're supposed to be a stable boy if you go up and down here. So over here, let me show you what I call the TPO tree. So along here we have the public highway, and these trees actually are the responsibility of Transport for Wales. So we don't do anything with them at all. They look after them and tend them. This tree here, at the very, very edge of our land, is it a birch tree? I don't know, maybe you can let me know what this tree is. Anyway, this tree here has a tree protection order on it, a TPO. So earlier on in the year, some of the branches were rotten and looked a bit dangerous. So we applied, in a way you apply for planning permission actually, we applied to the local council or the Brecon Beacons National Park, and they gave us permission to cut down some of the branches so they weren't falling on my neighbour's land. Now, as part of the planning application to do anything with the stables, we had to have a tree survey done where they plotted out all of the trees around the area so they could tell us how we could make sure they're protected during the build. And actually, I'm going to be sharing later on this video some protective fences are about to be delivered, and they'll be going up around the property to protect the trees. As part of that tree survey, the arborologist discovered that this tree has fungi on it, both at the base and up here, and their recommendation is that this tree is compromised and could be damaged and is at risk. I also had another ecologist come and have a look at that, and they agreed with them. So that report has gone in to Brecon Beacons National Park. We have requested, as this tree has been identified as potentially being compromised, that unfortunately we take this tree down. I'm worried about it potentially falling over on the stables or on my neighbour's land. So far, the Brecon Beacons National Park has said no, they don't agree with the report, and this tree isn't diseased or in danger. So whilst that might cover me for insurance purposes, I'm still a little bit concerned about having this tree. So I'm going to invite the ecologist to come and have a look from the council at this tree, and if they come out, that's great. Otherwise, if they don't, I will commission a tree survey every single year going forward and send that into the council, highlighting how this tree is faring. I don't like taking down trees. My husband Joe worked at Westonbirt Arboretum when I first met him. I love the trees on this property, but I think it's important to make sure, whilst we love the environment, to also care for the environment. If there's anything dangerous, I want to make sure it's taken away. We can always replace this tree. I love the idea of putting a silver birch or one of those lovely topiary mushroom trees, wherever it might be. If we take a tree down, I promise I'll always replace it. A couple of other things around the trees. When we had the tree survey, come and have a look at this. So you're here at the back of the barn or stables. This is where the bedroom is and where the ensuite is and where the foul water will come out from the shower and the sink and the dishwasher. So we're trying to work out at the moment where that drainage should go. So ideally, the drainage for the village runs underneath our paddock up there and comes out into our driveway and then goes down along here to the local sewerage works. Ideally, we want to connect onto that. We have permission, and I'll be paying about £1,000 for a licence to allow me to connect to the waters. Ideally, we want to run the pipework through here and under this here, making sure that we protect these trees either side and that we hand dig around their roots. However, there are potentially some issues with the gradients identified, and we may have to run it over here, which again might potentially compromise these trees, but also means we would have to rip up this path. And then if you come with me, I'll show you, you've seen here before, the nursery, if you've been on my Instagram, where all the kind of work done for the garden. Potentially it will have to come through here and to a drainage point out there, which means we would have to take the greenhouse down and potentially rip up the patio. And I'm really trying to avoid that. It's a bit of a working brief. This is very detailed calculations that are being worked out at the moment by our contractor. We have a visit on site in a couple of weeks. We'll see what happens then. But for now, this is very exciting. There are always going to be challenges to be overcome. In the next couple of days, we have the fences arriving to protect the trees, and then a week later, we will start removing the roof of the stables very gently, so that we make sure that none of the bats are damaged, if there are any hiding under the eaves. But for now, I just want to say thank you for coming on a little tour of the stables, the barn. Let me know, what should I actually call it? I was thinking Castle Stables is quite nice. But anyway, I hope you are enjoying hearing about how we're doing the development. There'll be lots more to come over the next few months, but for now, back to me in the castle. Hello from the turret. Well, Chaucer and I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Stable Diaries. You didn't feature this time. I'll make sure he's in episode 2. And episode 2, I'll be sharing all the fencing that is arriving. I'll update you on the ecology report and we'll take the roof off. I also have to empty all that stuff in the stable. So episode 2 coming shortly. Make sure you subscribe, and wherever you are and whoever you love, thank you for joining Chaucer and I at the little castle in Wales, and we'll see you next time.